Welcome in episode 36 of the Educational Duct Tape Podcast. This is episode number 13 of season 2, and today I'll be joined by the infectiously enthusiastic Manny Curiel. We'll discuss green screen videos, WeVideo, and the updates that are coming to the WeVideo platform. We've also got a huge giveaway in this episode, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Jen Giffen from Shooks and Gift the Podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Welcome to the Educational Duct Tape Podcast with Jake Miller.
Welcome in Duct Tapers. My name is Jake, and I am here to talk to you about duct tape and educational technology, and a mindset that I think can help you with EdTech integration in your classrooms and schools. First up, a little show format update for y'all. I've decided to start making an effort to reduce the length of the episodes. Educators are great at making decisions based off of data, both qualitative and quantitative. By the way, do you say data or data? I say it one way when talking about information, that's data. And the other way, when talking about my cell phone plan, that's data to me. Isn't that odd? You guys are like, Jake, I'm not surprised that you're being odd here. Anyhow, my data is indicating that some listeners have not been too keen on recent episodes going over 1 hour long. So I'm going to aim to keep it under 60 minutes when possible. So if you know of any friends who have abandoned their duct taper status due to the length of the episodes, tell them that I said, baby, come back. All of the episodes will be a bit shorter. My data also tells me that listeners don't like it when I sing, so I don't know why. Listen to the data, Jake. Stop singing. You're not good at it. Anyhow, on that note, get it? Note. Today's interview with Manny Curiel is actually split across 2 episodes. We'll do the main chunk of it, including a huge giveaway today, and then the rest of it, including another, albeit slightly smaller, giveaway next Wednesday in place of our usual mini episodes. So you'll hear Manny today on Wednesday the 5th, and next week on Wednesday the... do your math, Jake, 12th, I believe that is, for a slightly shorter episode. There won't be the beginning part with me. There won't be the ending part with me. There'll just be just the rest of the episode rather than the mini episode that would normally come out that day. We'll still have the Twitter chat next week, as usual, on Wednesday, February 12th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll just be on topics that spanned 2 separate but connected episodes. Speaking of Twitter chats, if you're listening to this episode on the day that it's released, February 5th, 2020, I hope that you'll join me tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I moderate the hashtag KidsDeserveIt Twitter chat. If you miss it, I'll be sharing a Wakelet collection of all the tweets so you can catch up there. A reminder, by the way, that after you listen to today's episode, you can head over to eduducttape.com/certificate to claim your certificate of listening, laughing, and learning in hopes of getting some PD credit for your time. You'll just need the super secret word that I mentioned later in the episode. By the way, just a heads up on that, I use a couple scripts from New Vision's Cloud Lab, CopyDown and Autocrat to make that system happen. It seems like CopyDown's been a little bit wonky the last few days, so if there's a delay in your certificate coming through to you, don't worry. I always make sure to go back in there and send out the ones that didn't automatically send out. So you'll get it sooner or later, but if it never comes to you, let me know because maybe you submitted the wrong super secret word or you spelled it wrong or something like that. I also want to remind you that if you're presenting at or attending any upcoming conferences or events, I know springtime is coming up, and that is big conference and EdCamp time. And if you are going to any of those and you'd like to support the show, I'd love to send you some stickers to pass out. Just go to jakemiller.net/send-me-stickers. And there are a couple different options there. One is to have me send them to you to pass out at a conference or at a presentation. There's also details there for getting me to send stickers just for you. Like if you're not going anywhere, but you just want a sticker for your laptop, there's some details on how to do that there as well. And finally, before we get into today's new content, as always, I'd like to share my calendar of upcoming speaking events. I will be doing a full-day Flipgrid workshop at Kent State University this Friday, February 7th. Next week, I'll be doing 3 sessions at OETC in Columbus, then a full day of sessions at Revere Schools here in Ohio. In March, I'll be doing one of the keynotes and a few breakout sessions about tech coaching at Kentucky's KISTE conference. I'll also be doing a few sessions at the Neotech conference in Ohio. My April calendar, by the way, is empty right now. I guess that'll be useful for me to help me make sure that I have time to buy my wife a birthday present. But you know that won't take up the whole month, guys. So head over to jakemiller.net/speaking if you're having an event in April. Anyhow, in May, I'll be back out on the road at the iTip Google Summit here in Ohio and at Tech Meet Tuscaloosa down in Alabama. In June, I'll be in South Carolina for the Oconee, I believe it is, County School District Summer Institute, in Illinois for WitCon, and then I think in California for ISTE. In July, I'll be in Texas at the Engage Conference in San Angelo. That's it for now, but I hope to have more to list for you in the next episode. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me just grab my soapbox from over here. Yeah. There we go. That's perfect. Climb up on there. Today, I'd like to talk about butts. No, weirdos, not those kinds of butts. Get your minds out of the gutter. I want to talk about the word butt, B-U-T. I've been rereading Bernard Roth's book, The Achievement Habit, Stop Wishing, Start Doing, and Take Command of Your Life. And a section of his book about butts, again with one T here, just jumped off the page for me. Side note, by the way, this is a good book, but not one of my favorites. It's maybe like a 3.5 star out of 5 book, so I'm not like giving it like a shining endorsement here, but it's got some good parts. Anyhow, the reason I've been rereading it is because there were a few insights in it that I wanted to track down. Anyhow, back to the butts. It's not one of the insights I was looking for, but it ended up like, bam, when I saw it, I was like, this is important for me. So there's a chapter in the book called Watch Your Language. And in it, Roth talks about some ways that we can change the way that we say things to encourage what he calls an achievement habit. One of those things is our use of the word but. Again, one T. An example that he gives is, I want to go to the movies, but I have work to do. He talks about how the use of but in that sentence creates a conflict and shuts down the conversation. He says that we're essentially saying, I'm not going to the movies because I have work to do. And there's nothing wrong with saying that if that's really, really what you mean to say. But he points out that if I say, I want to go to the movies and I have work to do, it doesn't automatically shut down the discussion. First of all, maybe those two things aren't in conflict at all. And second, if they are in conflict, the and actually opens it up to some consideration. He says, when you open up the dialogue with and, your brain gets to consider how it can deal with both parts of the sentence. Your brain gets to see if it can make both things work. Can you do a working lunch to get your work done in time? Can you skip your evening workout to complete your work and then make it to the movie? Can you do the work after the movie? Can you ask for an extension to get the work done? Can you ask someone for help with the work? By including and, you give your brain permission to think of all of those things. Another example that he gives is about an internship that requires travel. The statement here is, I want this internship, but I'm afraid of flying. End of discussion. No internship. However, if we say and instead, I want this internship and I'm afraid of flying, we permit our brain to consider how to either A, deal with the fear, therapy, meditation, or B, travel without flying, train, road trips, or of course C, don't take the internship. So we go from the word but with one clear route to the word and with 3 possible routes. This reminds me of something that I often hear as a tech coach. I'd like to use more tech in my class, but I'm not good with technology. Change it to an and to think about how to get better, how to get support, how to get help, how to get training or resources. I'd like to have my students record videos in my class, but we don't have iPads or video cameras. Switch to and to start thinking of other routes. Do you have old flip cameras? Do your students have laptops with webcams? Are your students allowed to bring their phones to class? Can you write a grant? Can you borrow devices from someone else? I'd like to use that tech in my class, but I don't have time. Change that but to an and so that you could start to look for things that you can reinvent with technology or eliminate to make room for technology. It's important to point out that changing from but to and doesn't always bring you from a roadblock to an on-ramp. Sometimes even changing your words just can't solve the problem. But at least by changing that one word, we open ourselves up to the possibilities rather than closing ourselves off from them. It's like the adjacent possible, right? Using the word and opens you up to the adjacent possible. Using the word but closes you off from it. And despite my appreciation of Sir Mix-a-Lot, this is why I like big ands more than I like big buts.
Today's guest.
All right, today our guest is Manny Curiel. Manny is an EdTech specialist for Sci-Fair ISD down in Texas. His curriculum focus is LOTE, L-O-T-E. Manny, I'm going to have to ask you what that is in a second. And he also provides support for campuses as needed. He is a Flipgrid board member. That's amazing. Flipgrid board member.
Yeah.
And translated the Flipgrid Educator's Guide to Espanol. Manny just became a WeVideo ambassador. And as you could tell from those two things, he's deep involved in the Flipgrid, deep involved in the WeVideo. His enthusiasm is contagious. You could sense the enthusiasm and all the things he's involved with. He is passionate about blended learning and focuses on making learning fun. Now, Manny, people might hear that and go does he really make learning fun? But
yes.
Right. Within 10 seconds of hearing this conversation, they're going to be yeah, I believe that Manny makes learning fun.
Nobody likes boring.
Right.
You like boring?
I do not like boring.
No.
Manny, if I liked boring, I would not have been Manny, will you be on my podcast? Because
having fun with the kids so the kids get engaged with you. And
right? Why not? We got to be there. They got to be there. They got to learn. We got to work. Why not have some fun while we're doing it, right?
Exactly.
Yep, totally. So before we dive too deep into it, I don't want to forget to share Manny's contact information. It'll be in the show notes as always, but you can find Manny on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram at Manny Disco Tech, T-E-C-H at the end there, or visit his website at bit.ly/Manny Curiel, and his last name is Curiel. But those will also be in the show notes. So Manny, you and I've known you for over a year now. Did you realize that?
Yes.
Yes. So Manny and I first met in person at ISTE last year, and then I got to come down to the Houston area to Cypress Fairbanks School District, Sci-Fair as they call it, and hang out with Manny and the awesome educators down there too. Yeah,
I remember getting your invite for your podcast when you had 9 listeners.
Yeah, you were one of the first 9 for sure.
Who is this dude? I'm I don't know. Let's find out. And I did.
Well, Manny,
famous. Let's come over to DLC over on my district. And it worked.
Nice. Yeah, there was. And then I got one of the early messages on the Flipgrid for the podcast from you, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And then literally the enthusiasm was contagious, and I'm I've got to have this guy on the podcast sometime. And then when I met you, I realized you had the tech know-how to back it up. At first I'm just this guy's a blast, and then we start talking, and you're doing your presentations down there at your digital learning day and everything, and you got that box checked too, right?
I love presenting. Yeah. I always get nervous. I don't know why. I always do, even though I know Google Sites because I present in Google Sites. I know it up and down, but I always get nervous. And once I start and the teachers get excited, then I get excited, and then it's just a party. Yeah. And I go let's do this. And, everybody laughs.
Yep.
Just because they laugh at me and with me and all that. And I don't care.
Yeah. I'm the same way. That first laugh comes, and then you're all right, now I'm good. Now I'm ready to go. Right.
Exactly.
And you get nervous because you care about it. You want to do well, and you're pumped about doing it. And so you're nervous. If you didn't get nervous, that must mean you don't care about it.
Well, I think it's because I want to make a good impression and also make it fun. Yeah. It's not just a hot mess, because it's harder to make it meaningful and fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. You can do. It's easy to do one of the two. It's difficult to do both.
But making it together, engaging, and meaningful, it's not super easy.
Yeah, I totally hear you there. So before we dive into our conversation, Manny is I'm gonna bury the lead. I'm gonna set the stage a little bit is what I'm gonna do here. So Manny has arranged 2 different giveaways for us for during the episode today. So they're gonna come up organically in the conversation as we talk about the tools that have provided them. So everybody's gonna want to listen close, because we're gonna be sharing 2 giveaways. One of them is particularly big, like a huge giveaway. Huge giveaway. I kind of want to rig it and win it myself.
I did not realize they were so nice. It's you giving me that much? I was okay.
And the winner is Jake Miller. Oh my gosh. They love me. They really love me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're already having enough fun, Manny, but we're going to play a game anyhow, despite the fact that we're already giggling and having a good time. So we're going to start off with a game of 2 truths and 1 lie. Are you in?
Yes.
2 truths and 1 lie.
So Manny is going to read 3 statements to me. 2 of them are true, and 1 of them is a lie. And I'm going to try to guess the lie. I'm probably going to get the game wrong, Manny, because I always jack up this game. But we'll see if I can pull it off. Are you ready?
Yes. So
Okay, go ahead.
I've listened to the podcast. So I'm reading all three of them, and then you decide which one is which, right?
Right. Yes, that is right.
Be nervous. Just saying. Okay. All right. So first statement is I met RuPaul at a club in LA.
Okay.
The other one is I have opened 3 restaurants.
Okay.
And the last one is I am a shy person.
Well, I find the last one hard to believe, Manny. But I do know that a lot of people who seem like extroverts are like, actually, it's really tough for me to like get up the nerve and talk to somebody. So maybe that's true. But I'm thinking about the other ones. And Manny, I know you well enough to know that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, when you first moved into the States, because you originally grew up in Mexico, correct?
Yes.
And when you first came into the States, it was as a culinary arts teacher. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that conversation. So I'm guessing that the second one about the 3 restaurants is true.
It is true.
I don't know if you've met RuPaul, but I do know that you're BFFs with Tori Spelling. So, like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I would believe that you potentially know RuPaul, right? So I'm guessing that the lie is that you're a shy person. I don't think you're a shy person.
What? You are wrong.
What?
I have met RuPaul, but it was not in a club. It was at DragCon.
Oh, so you totally set that up like it's like a half truth.
I just couldn't come up with a lie. I don't lie. Even if I'm lying, my face will tell you the truth.
I can't see your face right now.
Well,
Manny.
I know. Just imagine that. But
I can tell that your cheekbones are a little higher because you're lying right now. No, go ahead.
The people who know me well, and actually when I first got this job, my boss is like, Manny, no, you are not a shy person. And now that I'm in my second year of this job, they've seen me. And remember when we went to that little place after DLC?
Yeah,
I was shy. When it comes to personal, I shut down. Like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, like when you're out of your comfort zone, like being in the classroom or in front of the group of teachers, like that's your comfort zone. But when you're out of it, then the shyness comes on.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. And I don't know why. People see me like, he's loud, he's this and that. He's totally not shy, but.
You're a shy guy. Okay, so tell me about the 3 restaurants.
So I opened up a restaurant here, which was a Thai restaurant right after I finished culinary school. I've opened a French restaurant here in the U.S. as well.
Okay.
And then in Mexico, when I was working as a sous chef, I opened a bar/restaurant for a chain.
Nice. All 3 totally different kinds of things, kind of different restaurants too.
Yeah, so French, Thai, and Mexican.
Nice. So do you have any involvement in any of them anymore?
Oh, God, no. After that, I told I will never open a restaurant. Like, you have no life.
Yeah, nope. Now you just go to restaurants.
Yeah, I like it. I like cooking for people, like for big gatherings, especially holidays. I love doing that. But as a business, absolutely not.
It sounds stressful.
It is stressful. Because just imagine being like a painter and you're being demanded to paint. It's just like it just takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah. So it's like you're like cooking is like your art, like your enjoyment, and then you're like doing
and you're being forced to do that whenever you don't feel like this or that. Now with teaching and coaching, I love doing it. Even when I'm down and have my personal issues. Whenever I connect with teachers, I get so excited for the fact that they want to learn more.
Yeah.
And they always ask me, "Did you miss the classroom?" I'm like, absolutely not. I get the exact same reward feeling from the teachers that I used to get from my students when they were learning how to read.
Yeah.
You see it in their eye. They're so excited about something that they just learned. And I'm like, oh my God, I know, this is so cool. And I start jumping.
Yeah. I'm the same way. When I switched to tech coaching, people were like, do you miss being in the classroom with the kids? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm in the classroom, like some of the time, like co-teaching or observing or giving feedback and stuff like that. So I still get that little piece, but no, I don't. Like, just like you said, like I get the same, if not more, enjoyment out of seeing the teachers like latch onto a new idea and get excited about something like that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because we can go into teachers' classrooms and help them. Because sometimes you go to conferences or a session or whatever, and then you go, oh, that's pretty cool. But then you're in your classroom and you're like, how do I do this?
Right.
And that's when we go and model the lesson with them.
Yeah.
And then they're more up to actually doing it and they feel supported. And I'm like, dude, that's my job. I love my job.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So cool.
That's awesome, man. So speaking of which, tell me what LOTE is. LOTE.
LOTE is languages other than English. So world language.
I've never heard that acronym.
And people say Lodi, and I'm like, no, it rhymes with vote. Okay, you don't say Voti, it's LOTE. As a silent E.
I do say Voti.
No, it's LOTE.
Every 4 years, I rock the Voti. Is that not how you say it?
It's LOTE.
That's the perfect example of what being an ed tech specialist is that you, I'm assuming, are not fluent in all of those languages, right? So not only could you not speak, say, German, you certainly can't teach it, and you don't need to. That's what that teacher's expertise is. Your expertise is how to use the tech, and then you're like a team. You're literally are co-teaching. You're taking your expertise and their expertise to benefit the students, right?
Right. So the cool thing about it is I used to teach students that were Spanish speaking. Mm-hmm. And then now I teach English-speaking kids that are learning Spanish.
Right.
So it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and so everybody now, like, remember in your bio, I said his enthusiasm is contagious. Like now they know, like, Manny is pumped, right? You're pumped about this.
Yeah, I love being in the classroom.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Okay, so even though we're having fun talking about the tech coaching and the LOTE and your excitement about being in the classroom, let's really drill down to some educational duct tape now. So for any new listeners out there, I know you're not a new listener, Manny, but for the newbies out there, educational duct tape is my metaphor. It's kind of an ed tech integration mindset that sees the educational technology at its best when it's a tool that we're using to solve problems or meet goals or just a learning standard, when it's not the focus of what we're doing, but it's a tool helping us do it. So we're going to talk about two different kind of like teacher questions that we could answer with the technology answer. So I'm going to serve this one up. This is the easiest serve for you ever, Manny, because I know that your passion is going to shine through on this one. Yeah. My question for you is, how can students create green screen videos to demonstrate content knowledge?
Well, with WeVideo, obviously.
Okay, so tell us about WeVideo.
Well, I learned about WeVideo because of you.
Yeah?
I remember I was listening to your podcast when I was in a bounce park with my kids, and I was just watching them doing the little, ball pit thing. And we were talking about WeVideo, and I was looking for something that would be easy and that has green screen.
Yeah.
So you talk about WeVideo, and then we went to TCA, and I talked to them like, this is so cool. And it just so happens that some of my coworkers have already been working towards getting WeVideo. So we purchased that district license, and it has been amazing. The success that we have had with WeVideo. It's super easy. It really is like you grab the dropper, you put it in the green, and boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that's when the kids, imagination and using content to make videos, shines. So I tell teachers, you worry about teaching your kids the content, and I worry about teaching your students WeVideo. So I've created a class that is for teachers and students, and it teaches them how to do a simple story. Then it teaches them how to do green screen, but it's always incorporating the lessons and the content that the teacher is, teaching the students.
Mm-hmm. That's really awesome because the kids are coming out of it like they're probably learning the content that they're supposed to learn more deeply because they're doing it this way. It's fun and engaging and exciting. And they're walking away with a new skill, whether they end up using WeVideo in their future or whether they end up doing some other video making with a different tool, or if they're just learning maybe just how to be creators and how to plan on a project and how to do things like that. Like they're getting twice as much value out of this instead of just the content, right?
Right. Because they're starting from zero. It's like, this content or this goal, make something out of it. And it's totally up to them. The WeVideo has the Discovery Library, then I think now they call it the Stock Library, I think they call it. They just changed the name.
Yeah. I'm looking at their site. It says built-in stock content. Oh, it calls it the Essentials Stock Library.
Right. Yes. So everything is already royalty free, and it's already there for them. It's just drag and drop.
Yep.
You put it in video one, and you start building it like blocks. super easy, like to make videos of what they've learned. So instead of doing worksheets, the students can create questions and answer, whatever objective that they have. They can create stories, either a math story or fiction or realistic fiction.
Mm-hmm.
They can do lessons for other students, because you have students that are like, they got it. I'm like, okay, make me a lesson for the kids that didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have another audience, authentic audience that, they have a purpose to make this lesson. They can make vocabulary videos. And could you imagine if the kids directs and produces their own book trailers, and then you can have a film festival?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
Yeah. And the learning is so much deeper, because they don't even realize they're learning. They're just having a blast doing these projects.
Exactly. That's her point. And then you can put like the character, the traits, plot, the solution, and the problem, and all of that, and make it fun for you. And the kids just loved it.
Yeah.
And there's other things that they could do. You can do podcasts there because you can download audio only.
Yeah, that's new, right? The downloading audio only.
It's not super new, but yeah, it's newer.
Yeah, and I know some people used to just like, they would make a video where maybe the only thing that showed on the screen was like a logo for the podcast, and they said it was a podcast, even though it was a video. Like, it was really just audio content with a logo on the screen. But now, yeah, you can just download it as audio. So
yeah,
it's not, and that's a nice thing for some teachers, that like, anytime you can go like, hey, I want a tool for making videos. Oh, and I also want a tool for making a podcast. Like, if you can make it the same tool, like, that's less learning, less that you have to manage, less accounts that you have to deal with, less privacy statements you have to handle. So if you could do those both in the same tool, that's awesome. And a lot of teachers are talking now about making podcasts with their kids. So that's huge that you can do that in WeVideo now.
Well, I use that specific tool to make audio files for my content. So they give me this transcript and says, Manny, I need you to read this. So I'm talking in Spanish as if I was, this character, and I have this situation. And then I put a gap. There's a beep, and then I let it wait, 5 seconds, because they're responding. And then I do the beep again, and then it's me talking again. So they do this simulated conversation, and I make those in WeVideo. Then just download
These are
it.
like this is like curriculum for the students to do. Like, they have a conversation with you, or they like repeat the translations with you or something.
So I'll send them the audio file, and then the teacher will play the audio file. Or they'll have two screens, one with the audio file and the other one recording. Mm-hmm. So they could do this in Screencastify, because now you can download audio for free.
yeah, exactly. So
cool.
That's free in there too. Yeah, and that's like, so it doesn't have like, we're not saying like, hey, you could do audio in WeVideo, you can't in these other ones, so choose WeVideo. We're saying no, like, you can now do it in all of them. So now your tools are getting more flexible. So you choose the tools that meet your needs,
right?
And like WeVideo, now that it does podcasts and audio, like now you kind of add that on top of like all the fantastic video options that are built into it,
Yeah, it's so cool. You can record your screen within WeVideo as well, which is, oh my gosh, amazing. So if you want to record your face, like with a webcam, and your screen, you could do that. And whenever you are done, it puts it in 2 layers. That is like, oh my God, that is just amazing. That I can manipulate my face wherever I want, or take it away for whatever period of time. The fact that it breaks it down into 2 layers, that is genius.
Yeah, that's huge. And I do that. I make my videos with Camtasia, which isn't really a classroom tool because it's expensive and it's kind of technical. But it's nice that like if I'm recording a 15-minute long video, like it does help your learners to be able to see your face, but they don't need to be able to see it for all 15 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if they see it at the beginning and like maybe in the middle when you need to like gesture something with your hands and like kind of like show them something physically, and then at the end again, like then they have that connection, but they don't have to see you there the whole time. So it's nice that you can kind of fade out and things like that.
Well, if you change your mind, like if you make the recording and then you change your mind, you can manipulate the extra layer however you want. I think that's why it's cool, because it's not, they're not, glued together, that you cannot separate them anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, the other nice thing too, because they're in 2 layers, is you could now do your screencasts sitting in front of a green screen, right?
Yes.
And then you can actually like green screen yourself into the video, so you're not like a rectangle with your coffee mug and your pictures of your kids behind you. You're literally just like green screened into like you're like superimposed just your head or whatever onto the screen, so then like you're not taking up as much screen space, and the kids are like, whoa, that's awesome, man, how'd you do that? Right.
So when I pitch it to teachers. I'm like, you can use your Chromebook to do that, get themselves in the video with the same Chromebook. You don't have to use another app or another device.
Right.
Because it's already included in everything. It's just a nice little package.
Yeah. The other thing that's nice with the way WeVideo works is that you don't have, like, you could do all the editing just from a Chromebook, which is what really has made WeVideo, you know, the popular tool that it is because it really is the best video editor out there on a Chromebook. But the other nice thing is you don't have to take the video itself on the Chromebook. So the kids can be running around taking videos on their iPhones and then put it in WeVideo from there. So the video can be sourced from all over the place. So you can go take the video on a GoPro or whatever, and then do the editing with it from your Chromebook.
Yes. So the way I record my videos is with my iPhone or take pictures or whatever. And then there's an app, a WeVideo app. And then you use the media uploader. You can select the folder where that media is going to go, which if you're going to be a WeVideo lover, which I'm sure everybody will be, you have to organize the videos that you have because OMG is going to be a hot mess.
Right. Because like you're doing that one video project and you take like 3 takes to do the video, and then you have your like behind the green screen content, and then you end up with like 5 or 6 files or 10 files for every video project, and then you do 10 video projects, and before you know it, you got like 70 videos in there, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then it becomes very unorganized, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I have folders for content, videos that I've made, or just in general, like this is just green screen videos that I can use for everything. That is me dancing, you know, disco and stuff. Like I can use that in a multitude of videos, which I always put in my videos.
We've got to share in the show notes, Manny, your new videos about WeVideo and why teachers screencast your dance moves in that. There is a part we're gonna put the link in the show notes for everybody, and everybody's got to go watch it because there's a part in the video where there's 4 Mannys dancing on the screen.
Yes. My husband is like, OMG, the world cannot do 4 Mannys.
It's amazing. It's epic.
So some of those videos are like, I have them in the general,
right? Because
I use them for everything because it's funny.
Dancing man.
Yeah, that media uploader, it is just a time saver. It is so cool just to upload from your phone, and to have it, you know, on your Chromebook or on your Mac or on anything because it's web based. It's just amazing.
Right. So can you edit on your phone if you want to?
This is when it gets tricky. Okay. You can start the video on your phone, like to drop, but not do a whole lot of editing. Okay. Because if you started editing and then you open it on your phone, it's going to tell you, oh, you don't have, like the mobile version, it's somehow limited. I don't really know exactly what features, but I always use green screen, and I know that is not supported on the mobile. So it will tell you, it's not supported and you cannot edit it.
Right. Which I think is fine for most schools because the majority of schools out there, not all, but the majority are Chromebook, and they don't want the kids doing anything more than they have to on their phones. They'd prefer them be on that, you know, domain registered device like a Chromebook anyhow.
Right. So just taking pictures, like they can have pictures of videos that they've had in their camera roll and just upload those. That is amazing. I love that feature. Yeah. My kids, you know, when I was in 2nd grade, obviously, they don't have cell phones. Well, some of them did, but they can take them out. So that wouldn't work. And the iPad version, it looks kind of like Adobe Spark.
Okay.
It has like slides.
Yep.
And then you can add it.
Yeah, whereas on the computer and the web version, you have like a timeline view where you could get down and like edit it second by second. But on a phone, you don't. You're kind of like popping in sections of video. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so on the web base, you can choose either one of those the ways to edit, either the card looking thingy or the timeline. Which I taught kids WeVideo on summer school last year. They were first graders. They can do layers. I said you're going to look at audio layer 1 and video layer 1. Period. Yeah. That is it. That you don't need anything else, and they were able to do it.
Yeah.
So
I believe it. Yeah.
Totally doable.
Yeah, totally. So one thing I want to ask you about, Manny, I'm going to jump back a little while in our conversation. You were talking about the essentials, stock content, or whatever WeVideo calls it. That's all of the, you know, copyright free, already, you know, free to use, royalty free content that's in there that you could use. Is that videos and pictures, and like what kind of stuff is in there?
So you have videos, pictures, and audio.
Yeah, and that's awesome too. If you're doing like podcasting projects, is that there's already intro music and sound effects and things like that in there that are already royalty free. And, kids are ready and able to just go ahead and use them. They don't have to worry about any copyright stuff. And it's important to be mindful of that stuff in schools, to not use stuff, that is copyrighted by somebody else. And it's awesome that WeVideo built
right. And you teach them that. That's all digital citizenship. And you take the 1 minute every day to teach how is it that we're being a good digital citizen, by doing this and respecting other people's job, the effort that they put.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a whole lesson, but just do it often enough that it just
sticks there. Yeah, it's good. It's good that you're using something that they don't have to, quote unquote, cite their sources on, but you're also saying to them, hey, this is why we're allowed to use this, because if we got this content from somewhere else, we might not be legally allowed to use it, but we know that all this stuff is royalty free. So you're modeling that you care about that, so the kids are hearing that from you.
Yeah, it's just WeVideo is so cool, and it's getting better.
So tell us about the future. Manny has a WeVideo crystal ball. Can you tell me what you see in your WeVideo crystal ball?
We both have the crystal ball because you're in this beta group as well.
Yes, that's true. We both have WeVideo crystal balls.
That's actually where we met, in the WeVideo little private gathering.
That's true. Yeah, their little, whatever they called their event, where they were announcing some of the new features that they came out with last summer. So they're even ramping it up even more awesomeness. So share, Manny.
Yeah, we got this amazing email. And then they let us see the WeVideo, and I'm like, OMG, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I signed an NDA, so let me go to my notes, because I don't want to say something that I shouldn't say. Because I get so excited, and I might just slip. So let me read this, because it literally looks like Google Classroom. It has that feel.
Yeah.
Like you will assign a video and the kids will see it very similarly as it will look in a Google Classroom environment. It's like all the instructions are there. You can put the content in there. They can all use it. It's going to be a lot easier to share and to turn in assignments.
Yeah, because it used to be like you put the instructions in Google Classroom if that was your LMS, and then the kids had to read those instructions there and then go over to WeVideo, do the project there, export it from WeVideo or get a link, share a link or whatever, and then come back to Google Classroom and then submit it there. And there were just like a lot of hoops to jump through, and they're kind of putting it all in one place, all within WeVideo, right?
Right. And the teacher is going to be able to put comments within the video.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then it's so, oh my God, that's so cool. I was like, it's just like super cool.
Yeah.
And then when the student is done, they can turn it in just as if they will do the same thing in a Google Classroom. They're going to be able to see the classic WeVideo and the new WeVideo side by side, so they can go back and forth. At least in the beginning, that's what they said.
Oh, so if they start using the new and it's like missing a feature or something, they'll have the ability to go back and use the classic.
Because right now there's several features that they're not in the new WeVideo. Like on my WeVideo, on my landing page, I have a really fun button in the bottom left that says new WeVideo.
Okay.
So if I go there, I only see, the new side of the WeVideo, but it's a teacher view. I don't see the student view. It's literally just like Google Classroom.
I see.
You have a teacher view and a student view. So you log in, you're logging in with your teacher, and then you assign the video or the assignment.
I see. Okay.
Then and if you log in as a student, you will have a different experience. So you can create your video, but you have to have right now you have to have an assignment assigned to you for you to create a video. They're working on creating videos just because you want to create a video, as if you're doing it right now. They don't have that yet. There's some features like the voiceover, I think by the time this podcast airs, then it should be there already.
Okay.
It's not, you can't just join the new WeVideo.
Okay.
But the ones some of us are there, then it's not there yet.
Yeah. How does that part work? When did, if somebody's already using WeVideo, have they seen any changes yet?
No, they can't see anything.
Okay. And when do they see them?
The districts are going to be able to opt in if they want to be part of this beta group in around June of 2020.
Okay.
And the new WeVideo will be available to anybody when they go back to school in August.
That's awesome. Yeah, some people are probably like throwing up their hands, like, "Come on, that's taking forever." But like, this is a big undertaking for WeVideo to completely reinvent the way their platform works. So, I mean, it's wise for them to have this small beta that they're having now, and then a wider beta in June, and then launch in August once hopefully all the bugs are out and everything like that.
Yeah, like when I saw the new WeVideo, like to me, the feature that wowed me the most, and it's super silly, I guess, but the zoom, my teachers don't know what that is. Like on the bottom right, because it's just a bar, and now it tells you the percentage of how much you're zoomed in. It's a lot easier.
Yeah,
the information, how to edit a section of the video, it's a lot, because now you double click or you click in the three lines.
Okay,
it is so much easier. I love it.
You mean to be able, like, if you want to just edit like this 5-second clip, like you could really zoom in on it? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So the actual tool, it's more, how would you say the word? It's more intuitive in a way, because when you see this bar with a dot, you don't really know what it is.
Right.
And now it makes it just easier.
Yeah. So it sounds like they were really listening to like what people said could get better, and what kind of the pain points were, and putting improvements in place for each of those.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So now is time to show everybody the WeVideo love, right? Because WeVideo wants to do some giveaways through your appearance on this podcast, right?
Yeah, we have some giveaways.
So what are the 3 prizes that are available?
There's 3 different hierarchies of license, and this is the cool thing about WeVideo, because they don't give you like a single license per student. They do it by seats. So if you have a morning class and an afternoon class like I did, if you have a 30 seat, that's all you need, because they based it on the amount of students you have at the moment, and then those students will go somewhere else, and then you get another set of kids. And so they measure it in how much published videos you can have,
right,
or how much storage,
right,
but by seats, and it's affordable. It's not outrageously expensive. For everything that you get is totally doable.
Yeah, if you're using it for more than one project, their prices are great. I think they're fair. Like, people are like, I want free tools, but like you're not going to get this kind of video editing with a free tool. So yeah,
and it's web based. Like OMG, because it's complicated in my district, because some content has Windows computers and another content area they have Chromebooks. So we needed something that will work in both.
Yeah.
And WeVideo is just like, OMG, best thing ever.
Yep. Today's super secret code is RuPaul. 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 Head over to eduducttape.com/certificate and type in RuPaul.
So we have a 30-seat license.
What?
Oh, it gets better. We got a 50-seat license.
What?
And a 150-seat license.
Yeah. What? That is crazy. 150-seat license. Which, based on what you said there, like that really means more than 150 kids, because that's 150 simultaneous users, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right. Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. And so
it gets better, because the people that are going to be winning these, they're going to have the option, if they sign an NDA, like we did, to have access to the new WeVideo.
So they're not using 2019 to the early 2020 WeVideo when they get this. They're using like August 2020 beta tester early WeVideo, right?
Right. Well, they will have it side by side.
Yes.
They will have access to the old one, and they'll have access to the new one. So they can totally assign lessons using the new WeVideo, so they can get a feel of what is it going to look like.
Nice.
So that is just awesome.
That is so rad. That's super, super, super cool. So let's talk about how do people win this, Manny? So I think they should have to tweet about it. Do you agree?
Yeah, they're gonna have to work for it, honey.
Work for it.
Okay.
You better work. We're going back to the RuPaul part earlier. So I think they gotta tweet. They've got to tag me. Okay.
And WeVideo.
They've got to tag. They've got to tag WeVideo at WeVideo. They've got to tag you at Manny Discotech. Right. And they got to get the hashtag EDU duct tape in there. And here's what I don't want to hear, because this is a pet peeve of mine, Manny. I don't want to hear like, ooh, I hope I win the prize. It's going to be so great if I win the prize. Everybody vote for me, because we're not doing votes anyhow. I want to hear the excitement about what they could potentially do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like exactly. Because world peace, honey, no, whatever. Something. Something boring, no. Something meaningful that it would be like, oh, that'll be a great idea or a great video or a great project.
Right. What are you going to do with it? What are you excited about? What new features are you pumped about coming out? Stuff like that. Like, why are you excited? What that you heard Manny just share are you excited about? And tweet that before the end of February. Is that the plan?
Yes, that is the plan. And I can send them one of my classes the class that I made for students and teachers, so that if they're like completely clueless in how to do it, but they're excited, which if a teacher has no idea how to do it, but they're excited, like I can work with that. I love that. I will send them some tutorials, and like it's a website that I created. That's awesome. And it has like step-by-step for students and teachers.
That's awesome. So they're potentially winning either a 30-seat license or a 50-seat license or a 150-seat license. And if they sign the NDA, they'll have access to the beta test version of the new alongside the old, and they'll have access to Super Manny's support and using it.
That's right.
True story. Okay. That is a win-win-win-win-win. So duct tapers out, just tweet about what you heard on the show, tweet about your excitement for using WeVideo, maybe how you plan on using WeVideo in your classroom if you have the opportunity. Tag Manny at Manny Discotech, tag WeVideo at WeVideo, tag me at JakeMillerTech, throw in a hashtag EDU duct tape in there, and we will narrow down the responses. We'll talk it over with WeVideo. Maybe we'll put our 10 favorites in a hat and we'll pull out 3 and we'll give away the prizes, something or other. We'll talk about it. We'll put our heads together and figure that out.
Yeah.
But I want to hear a bunch of duct tapers talk about how excited they are about
it. Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds awesome.
I'm so stoked about that. That is so nice that WeVideo to share all that stuff.
Oh, geez, I get that is a beta.
Okay, so that does it for our chat with Manny for today. As I said earlier in the episode, I will resume this conversation. I'll just share the rest of it with you next Wednesday in place of our normally scheduled mini episode. Manny and I just had so much fun stuff to talk about, and I'm trying to keep the episodes a little bit shorter, so I decided to just cut it in half right there, and we'll share the rest next time. Please, sometime before the end of February, if you're interested in winning those WeVideo giveaways, which who wouldn't be, by tweeting sometime in the month of February about your WeVideo excitement or some new WeVideo ideas that you gained after listening to this, or some new WeVideo stuff that you'd like to integrate in your class, or some stuff that Manny might have shared that made you super excited about WeVideo. Do that once during the month of February. Include my handle, Manny's handle, and WeVideo on there, and the hashtag EDU duct tape. And we will enter all of you in a long list of people to potentially win one of those 3 prizes. And then we'll put our heads together and figure out who gets those prizes. But enough about Manny and WeVideo. Now is the time for one of my favorite parts of the show, which is hearing from the duct tapers. First up, we've got a new Apple Podcast review to share. This comes from Eliza D123. The review was titled, Wow. Wow. I'm giving her that tone there. Wow. The review says, I've only listened to 3 podcasts and have used at least 2 different suggestions already in my high school science class. In fact, I'm working with my awesome librarian to create a MyMaps end of course EOC test review 2 days after listening to the podcast. Super helpful ideas and advice. Thank you so much for that review, Eliza. Thank you all of you who have left reviews there in Apple Podcasts. It really does help other educators find the show, which is part of the goal. We're trying to help more students by reaching more teachers, and the best thing that you can do to support that is the tweeting and reviews and things like that. So up next, let's hop on over to the Educational Duct Tape Flipgrid and hear from duct taper Linda Hummer.
Hi, Jake. This is Linda Hummer, and I want to say hello to you and all the other duct tapers out there. Thank you so much for episode 34, the interview with Jared Cooney-Horvath. I went out and bought the book, and I've already read it, Stop Talking, Start Influencing. There were so many wonderful parts and things to think about that I have gone and shared different ideas with different staff members. And in fact, we're trying to set up our own experiment to see if students that practice their math facts, not only in their math class, but also during phys ed, during their warm-ups and things, if they will end up performing better than the students that do not get that extra practice in a different location. I am also trading this book with the high school principal as he's reading another one on making learning sticky. So I can't wait to get a hold of that book. And I thought it was kind of interesting. There's something called the Badner-Meinhof phenomenon, where you hear of something and then all of a sudden it just keeps popping up everywhere. That's kind of how I feel about these insights from the brain science and making learning sticky. It just seems to be everywhere, and I'm excited to try and put quite a bit of it into practice. Thank you so much for all you do on the Educational Duct Tape podcast.
Thank you for that, Linda. It's great to hear from Linda there on the Flipgrid. If you want to submit yours, just head over to eduducttape.com and click on the Flipgrid button, or head to flipgrid.com/eduducttape. You know, Linda was sharing about her thoughts on the book by Dr. Jared Cooney-Horvath, who was on a couple episodes ago. And I have to say, enough duct tapers, I think, purchased that book after his appearance to maybe send Jared on a nice vacation or something like that. People were just really excited about his ideas, and for good reason. It's an awesome book, and he was awesome on the show. So, Linda, thank you for sharing about that. I'm interested in hearing about that study that you guys are doing with the math students and about the other book that you're reading, too. So please do share when those times come. Let's hop over now to Twitter and some of my favorite #EduDuctTape tweets. It was really hard to pick ones this time around. It's getting hard every time now because there are just so many out there. So if you said something really awesome, please don't be offended I didn't choose you. Just there's just so many. So I try to pick a couple of fun ones to share every week. Our first one comes from @GuysGotTechEd. That's Guys, Guise. This is Eric Guys, who co-hosts the show Got Tech Ed along with Nick Johnson. It's a podcast. It's great. I just listened to the other day their 20 tech tools to try in 2020. It was a good episode. They do a good job over there. But Eric tweeted out, so Nick and I just checked out @JakeMillerTech's newsletter this morning. We started to watch his keynote highlight reel, which I put a couple newsletters ago. That's me and that in. And he says, awesome. Great messages, great visuals, and great impressions. Scary moment, though, at 3 minutes and 25 seconds when Jake almost takes out the projector. #Jake is tall. #EduDuctTape. I had to go back and watch that one. And Eric is right. In this particular video from that conference a couple years back, it was a pretty low projector, and it looks like I'm going to smash my head into it. It's the video playing tricks on your mind. I wasn't really that close, but it was a pretty low projector. That video is on my YouTube page if you guys are curious to see what he's talking about there. So our next few #EduDuctTape tweets all actually come from the #EduDuctTape chat last week. So for those of you who have never participated in one of the chats, question 1 always asks the participants to, number 1, introduce themselves, and number 2, answer a question based off of the game that I played with the guest from the previous week. So a fortnight ago, Craig Clement was on the show. He did 2 truths and 1 lie, and one of his lies was a pretty cheesy math joke. It was funny, though. Craig, I'll give you credit for it. So to tease him, that became the question in the question 1 of the chat last week, which was, what is your favorite cheesy teacher joke? And that, of course, is Craig's, but we got some other really good ones. We had fun responding there. Some people responded multiple times because they just couldn't pick a favorite, but here are a few of my favorites. @Kirk's Corner said, I'm Stephanie Kirk from Tennessee, a little late, but here. A1, I teach high school ELA, and I'm old, so I use a lot of #dad jokes. Today we talked about a pun competition where a man entered 10 hoping to win, but no pun intended. That was a good one. I tried that on my kids. They did not think that was funny. Next up, @Mr_Stitzel said, A1, hi all, Dan Stitzel, tech coach from Akron, Ohio. My favorite cheesy teacher joke, what type of pencil did Shakespeare use to write his work? 2B. And next up, our all-star of the chat, who probably tweeted like 15 different jokes. And this was my favorite of everybody's from the night, @MOlson14. This one, you know why teenagers only travel in groups of 3? Because they can't even. #EduDuctTape. That one was my favorite one. That one actually made me LOL there. And finally, our last tweet for this fortnight comes from @Hartel30. John said, that awkward moment when you realize at JakeMillerTech hadn't been following you all along, but at EDT Soapbox had been, and then the laughing out loud face, hashtag EDU duct tape. And he included a screenshot of him getting the notification that I followed him. Yeah, this is like my worst nightmare come true here. I realized not too long ago that I hadn't been following all the people that I've been interacting with. I tend to put people in lists, and I look at people from the different lists, or I just engage with them as it's kind of happening and within the chat. And I was like, I really need to start following some of these people. And every now and then I'd look and I'd be like, how am I not following so-and-so? How am I not following so-and-so? And so during the chat, I was like, how am I not following John? He's been listening to the podcast since the beginning. He's been part of the audience. He's been a duct taper all along. How have I never followed him? And so I followed him, but I'm always worried, like, I just hope they don't see the notification that this person that they've been connected with on Twitter for over a year just followed them. Well, John not only saw it, but he called me out on it. Thanks for that, John. So those of you out there, if you get a sudden notification that I followed you, it's because I just realized that I haven't been following you all along, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Let's hop back over now while I wallow in my pity for my mistake of following John a little late. Let's hop back over to the educational duct tape Flipgrid, where we have a share from Mike Feldman.
I'm pretty sure that I'm late to the game on this, but I just figured it out. And it's been saving me lots of seconds, lots of times. So lots of seconds, lots of time. And when you type Drive into the Omnibar, at least on a Mac in Google Chrome, and then hit Tab, it then, instead of searches Google, it searches your Google Drive. I can't wait to share this with kids and to save them time as well.
Thanks for sharing that, Mike. Kind of ironically, I'm sharing Mike's share a little bit late, and things have actually changed here since then. So Mike had discovered the way that you can kind of create your own searches in Google. So you could set it to search, like I have a setting that I could search Eric Kurtz's Control-Alt-Achieve page. If I type in controlaltachieve.com and hit Tab, it'll automatically search Eric's page because it's just such a wonderful resource. And that is, I think, automatically set up with Drive. But now, since then, and that's wonderful, first of all, Mike, but it's even more wonderful now that it just now magically searches your drive. Google just rolled that out a little bit ago. So you should see that automatically appear. If your search results aren't popping up there and you just want to force it to search just Drive, type in Drive, like he said, and hit Tab, and then it'll do that for you. If you want to share some new tech aha or idea or thing like that you want to share and get it heard on the show, just head over to eduducttape.com and click on Flipgrid or flipgrid.com/eduducttape. And finally, before we leave for the week, for the fortnight, our new hashtag eduducttape tweeters of the week are at 0088keys, at funcactusin6. That's a cool name there, at Mr. Merrill's Class, at Mrs. Caldwell 0, at Ram Reality Check, at R Maben 9, at Susie Tech Coach, and at Tanya Skinner. So that does it for the week, for the fortnight. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Manny. I know I did. He's a blast. I hope that you will enter to win that prize by tweeting about the show and about WeVideo and your ideas for how you're going to use WeVideo. I hope that if you haven't done so yet, you will subscribe to the show. I hope that if you haven't done so yet, you'll review the show on Apple Podcasts. I hope that you'll connect with us via the Flipgrid, via the Facebook group, via Twitter, participate in next week's Twitter chat. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you have a great week. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you listening for so long, and I can't wait to see you again a fortnight from now for our next new episode, and a week from now to hear the rest of the interview with Manny. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Educational Duct Tape Podcast. Please consider rating and reviewing the show on your favorite podcast app. Hashtag EduDuctTape.
Oh my God, what is wrong with me? I need a sip or something.
A sip. Take a sip. Take a deep.
Stop.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.